This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with my first live interactive interview of the week with former Impact Wrestling competitor, former NXT competitor. I believe you may have even had some matches for ROH here and there.
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet. Have you confused with someone else?
RH, but I'll let you continue.
She has the nicest car of any diva in the wrestling business today with her Chevy Nova. Amber Nova, who recently appeared on a video here on the Hannibal TV that has over 50,000 hits, where she was attacked by a ninja. How are you doing today?
I know, isn't that crazy? A ninja tried to pickpocket me, take my wallet while I'm busy checking the oil underneath the hood of my car, and I kicked its ass, so ninja that.
You definitely did kick his ass. I think we're going to have some cameras follow you another day as well. Maybe something else like that will randomly happen.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, actually. And it's funny enough, a couple weeks after we posted that, WWE started using ninjas, and now they have a whole angle with ninjas.
It wasn't too much longer after that we did the ninja video, and then I see all these ninjas on Raw and running around the place. I'm like, huh, okay. I guess they're around Orlando often, these ninjas.
That's true. You do live in Orlando. Mike on here says that the orange you're wearing reminds him of Bam Bam Bigelow. I don't know if I could ever be reminded of Bam Bam Bigelow looking at you.
Thank you. I'll take that. I love orange. I don't know if a lot of people know why orange is always incorporated in my wrestling gear, but it's because Chevrolet's original motor color is like the hot orange red. It's orange, the Chevy motor color. So like my engine is orange, and that's why I always have orange incorporated. It's all the car girl stuff. It all together. So.
Now, this is actually our second interview. I'd encourage people to go watch our first interview here on Hannibal TV. Oh, Jalen says the WWE ninjas suck, though.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, we might get into a couple fan questions of stuff we already covered a bit in our other interview for the fans that didn't see it. But comedian Eric is asking, how long have you been wrestling for, and what made you get into wrestling?
So Eric, I started wrestling about 5 years ago. I moved to Orlando and started training. I had my first match 4 years ago. So I've been actually competing in matches for 4 years, and I've done a lot in those 4 years. You know, I maybe you've seen me on Impact, WWE's brand NXT. I've wrestled in 3 different countries, London, South Africa, and Panama in 6 months' time last year. And I mean, I got into wrestling because I'm a former EMT. I used to work with firemen and paramedics back home. And that was my career job that I left to pursue professional wrestling and modeling. And being an EMT, I just would work 24-hour shifts, 36-hour shifts, helping people. And it was the most incredible experience, helping people. And just, I didn't even have social media back then. Like, wasn't a thing to me. I just wanted to work and have a really good job and help people. And I always watched wrestling growing up as a kid. WCW, like my favorite guys were Sting, Goldberg, Booker T. Like they give you that pump and that fire. And I don't know. And then I saw the women doing it, and these young, beautiful, talented, fit young women just coming up in the business. So I did my research and was like, okay, what would I have to do to really do this? Probably move to Orlando, close to the Performance Center. So I moved my whole life here, but I wanted to tell a story, and I wanted to tell my story, and I wanted to make myself feel alive and everyone else around me. And I just wanted to go for it. I've always been a wild one, so I went for it, and now I'm right here talking to you.
And you've been doing pretty good. In my opinion, you're definitely one of the top free agents in wrestling. If you're not signed by the time we're allowed to start running events here in Canada, we definitely want to bring you up to Great North Wrestling when we're allowed to run again. Ever since we posted that ninja video, the fans have been asking me, please bring her up here to Canada. So I don't think you've wrestled here yet, have you?
I've not wrestled in Canada, and I really want to. So yeah, let's talk to some promotions and get me up there next year.
Well, as I said, we actually, the Hannibal TV started for our wrestling company, and it ended up turning into an interview channel. But we post matches on here too. Some of our female matches have literally millions and millions of hits. So we are popular for the females. But I find actually overall there's some hardworking females in Canada. Like Lufisto is our champion here for our company. I don't know if you know her, but they don't work as hard as in the US. They just don't have the drive overall, with some exceptions. And I don't know why that is, but you're definitely very hard working. I see you out every weekend when I follow you on your stuff. How is it being back in the ring after the lockdown?
Yeah, so the last 3 months I've been in the ring. I've been doing shows for the past 3 months, almost every week, if not every other week. I've been training. During the quarantine, we were shut down. We couldn't train. But then once the quarantine was lifted, my dojo got an exemption from the state of Florida to be allowed to open. And, everyone wore masks. We do temperature checks. We still do at the shows and at the doors. But honestly, like, being back in the ring, like, it was just like, man, I want to get back in there. I just want to go. It wasn't like I was out that long, so I wasn't nervous. I wasn't like, oh Lord, my skills. I'm like, I wasn't nervous, or I was excited. A little nervous, because I do get nervous anyways, but a little nervous, mostly excited. But yeah, I wasn't like scared that I'd forget everything or wouldn't be able to perform, compete like normal. If anything, I was just like, hell yeah, I want to learn some new stuff. And I just started training and trying new things, and, just working out and keeping my body like as fit as possible and healthy. I go to my chiropractor every week, and I make sure I'm fit, and I get my own little tune up. So yeah, I mean, getting back in the ring was fine. It was good. It was exciting. And it's a slow process here. The shows that we're running, they're, maybe 60 people spaced out. It's not a huge events, but it's starting to come back slowly but surely. And then we'll see what happens next year. So, or at least in the next few months.
Now, I know you don't have an answer to this, but the fans seem to think wrestlers can just go into any promotion they want sometimes. And KWN is asking, are you going to go to AEW anytime soon? We know they're based in Jacksonville, not too far from you. We know they give ladies independent wrestlers a shot here and there.
Yeah, so thanks for asking that question. It's definitely on the table as an option. It's not like I would say no to an opportunity with them. Right now it's a rough time for the business, and I'm currently the Florida Cruiserweight champion. I just became the Florida tag team champions with my partner, who's the heavyweight champion, Dion James, at this promotion that we're working on. And we're actually going to be defending our tag team titles tonight. So I'm on like a winning streak. I don't think I've lost a match almost all year. I was wrestling at the beginning of the year. I worked for Empower Wrestling. That was on Fight TV. I wrestled Anna Jay. I wrestled a few people, and it's been a really good year, and I just want to be consistent with it. I'm definitely open to opportunities, other companies. I love what they're doing with NWA. I love what Brandy Rhodes is doing with the heels with AEW. I absolutely want to be a part of this women's movement. I just know that times are really tough right now, and maybe it's better just to wait in the next few months when things really pick up again to start coming back and shifting gears and bringing that Nova drive. Hopefully, yeah, to a TV company, you'll see me again soon.
And I'd like to thank Double S for tipping $10. And he says, you guys rock. Love the cinematic match. Keep kicking ass, Amber.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
And Dale says, you're a lovely babe.
Oh, well, thank you, Dale.
You're definitely one of the most beautiful unsigned divas, in my opinion, too. And I don't tell that to everyone. I only tell that when I believe it's true. There's a reason why you're such a successful model as well. I highly encourage people, by the way, to follow Amber on Instagram. I'll let her plug it again now because I don't remember it off the top of my head. But she's got some great modeling pictures on there.
Yes, please do. My Instagram is the same as my Twitter handle. It's AmberNova73. And I wanted to ask you if we promoted it on Instagram. I guess I didn't do it yet this morning, but if there's a way, I was like, go to Instagram and tell people I'm live right now. I don't want to like exit out of this because I don't want to disappear, but yeah, go follow me on Instagram, AmberNova73. And if you guys aren't familiar with my matches, YouTube me, check them out. Actually, speaking of like a lot of hits, I wrestled Brian Atomic. He's a young cruiserweight at my dojo, an up-and-coming wrestler. He's really athletic, a lot of potential. He's pretty good, but I gave him an ass kicking. And Diva Insider, if you go to YouTube, Diva Insider, or his Instagram page, he filmed the match, and we have like about 500,000 views, I think, right now. And that's a really good, it'll say Amber Nova intergender match for Diva Insider. So you guys, that was like one of my recent matches you should really check out.
Speaking of intergender matches, I don't have anything against them because they're so popular and wrestling is a business. The most popular video on this channel has something like 8 million views. It was an intergender match. And this business is about making money. But Lance Storm has come out recently and said, oh, I don't think we should have intergender matches anymore because of all the speaking out stuff. But not everybody is like that, in my opinion. And like, just because of a few weirdos, why should the entire style of matches be eliminated if people like it? So I don't know what your opinion is.
I am fine with intergender matches. It just depends. When a man wrestles a woman, he's not going to do the same things he would do with another man. It's different. He might give her a backbreaker. He might give her a body slam. He'll put her in some holds, but he's not going to give her these gigantic moves or punch her straight in the face and then expect her to have like enough energy to get right back up. You know what I mean? So it's really, wrestling it's entertainment. We are athletic competitors showcasing our skill, our talent, and we're entertaining you. So if I get in a ring with a guy and he just gives me this massive move, power bombs me, punches me in the face, no one wants to see that. They want to see the guy taunt me, tease me, backbreaker me, and be like, come on, what do you got? That's how at least my experience with intergender matches have been. And then that gives me my opening and my opportunities that if he wants to be, chauvinistic, and then I get to come in and show him, okay, let me show you what some women can do in this ring. And that is where we entertain. And that's where women, like, I really was enjoying the mixed match challenge that WWE was doing, the Facebook ones. Those were really cool. With Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, that was awesome. So I like seeing intergender matches like that. If it's more like, even if it's just tag team, it's not singles competition. So I'm for it as long as it's done the right way. Like if you get a guy that gets in the ring that maybe doesn't really know how to work a woman, it just might not be as enjoyable.
Right. And like my style, I would do a mixed match where I wouldn't actually wrestle the girl, but my style wouldn't be fitting to working with females. But there are some males that I think females could actually beat up in real life, some male wrestlers. But I have done acting where I've done a lot of fight scenes with models and so forth, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm certainly not opposed to it, and if it gets hits, I'm always for it. But the Dave Kruger is asking if you played any sports growing up.
Dave, yes, I did. I played volleyball, and I think that's how I got my abs when I started when I was younger. And then I made varsity. I did a competition cheerleading like in middle school, like 8th grade. And then I made varsity cheerleading my freshman year in high school. And I was the only other freshman to make varsity. And then I quit a few months later because I was bullied and the girls weren't really nice. And I was like, this isn't really fun anymore. So I quit cheerleading, but I did make varsity my freshman year. And that was like a nice accomplishment. And then I've always been just very active and athletic. Like when I was an EMT, I still worked on my body, squats, just arms, picking, like we had to pick bodies up a lot as an EMT, me and my partner. So I had to lift patients, out of the hospital bed onto the stretcher, from the stretcher onto the hospital bed. And I was lifting really big people sometimes. And then, I would always just work on my abs. And I used to use like an ab wheel, but I'm going to be honest, the ab wheel was like, okay. And then my partner I would work with sometimes, he's a fireman back home in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And I was like, what do you do for your abs? And he taught me, it's really simple too. It's so simple. You just sit on the edge of a bed or even on the floor. You just elevate your legs and you hold them elevated level with your abdominals and just keep your core tight. And I'm talking 300-400 a day, but it didn't start like that. I would do like 25 a set, 50 a set. So I've always been pretty athletic, but I didn't do a lot of sports growing up. I just have that natural drive, I guess.
And that goes into Klein's question here. You did talk about this a little bit in our last interview too, but he says he noticed you're very ripped these days. What are your diet and workouts like?
Well,
Lots of coffee,
Klein?
probably black.
Well, Klein, what do you mean these days? I think I've always been pretty like fit and ripped, but thank you. I've always been a healthy person. I'm one of 5 kids. My mom is like 115 pounds her whole life. She had five children. She had twins at the end. But my mom would cook spaghetti 7 days a week sometimes. Like, we're Italian. We didn't grow up with a lot of money. And we all just had really natural genes, like to be small. But it is something like, even if you're genetically skinny or small or you have a fast metabolism, it's still something you have to work really hard to keep that muscle on and not just be skinny or, have be more fit and healthy. Dieting wise, I for the last several years, I only eat turkey, chicken, and fish. I don't eat red meat, pork, or ham, which I never was a big fan of it anyways. Like spaghetti wise, I like turkey meatballs and things like that. Turkey tacos over red meat because it's just more fattening, and I just never felt good about eating the animals anyways. So turkey, chicken, fish, I'm heavy on my carbs. Bread, broccoli, stuff like that, like big carbs like that. But my body processes it very well. Natural sugars, fruits. I have my protein powder, chocolate protein powder, like shakes or oatmeal and stuff like that. But dieting wise, I've always just been a naturally healthy person. Like, I guess I've never really been big on donuts and cupcakes like most. You see a lot of bodybuilders and wrestlers like huge on donuts. I'm more of like really big on pizza and fried chicken. Like, that's my dessert. I do like ice cream and stuff, but yeah, it's just everything's in moderation. Just eat healthy, do it in moderation, and stay away from fast food and processed foods. I cook a lot, and I make my own fresh, dinner, chicken, stuff like that. So dieting is there, and then my workout, like, I get enough cardio in the ring that I don't have to go on the treadmill for 30 minutes every morning. Some people's bodies are different. It all depends on what you like to do. I personally love hot yoga. And since the quarantine, I haven't been able to go because they were shut down for a while. And then they've actually just opened back up recently in the last month. But hot yoga, the sweat, you have to push through. It's great. I love hot yoga. That's a workout for me. Some people like CrossFit. Some people like Pilates. I've never tried that, but I heard it's good. So it all just depends on what you like, what helps you mentally as well, not just physically. You need to like how that makes you feel mentally, and always protect your mental health as well, because that affects your body. But yeah, that's what I do for, I guess, dieting, health, things like that. My experience.
And I just noticed you have the orange fingernails going there too.
I do. So like I said, I always stick with my signature color, orange. My wrestling gear always has orange in it because Chevrolet's original motor color is orange. It'd be like a hot orange, red, or orange. And growing up, the daughter of a mechanic, loving, Chevys over Fords. Sorry, anybody out there likes Ford more. Chevys are better. So the Chevy orange, and it's my color. And then like my wrestling gear, don't judge. My nails are a little bit messy. I need to redo them. But so orange nails, orange gear, always ready to tune up.
Now, as far as your gym that you were just talking about, I know you're fairly tiny, but what are some of your best lifts for, let's say, squat, bench press, and deadlift for the bodybuilding fans that like to know that?
My weight,
like your heaviest, like what would have been your heaviest all time squat, bench press, and deadlift, for example?
Oh, I don't know. I can do double my weight with squats at least. Like deadlift, I don't know. I usually just use the machines and then I air squat, and then I'll squat with like 20-pound weights in my hand, or I'll use the squat bar. I can squat at least my weight, like 100 pounds. On the assisted machines, I do around like 210. I can probably do more. I'm not trying to build my body though, and then gaining weight for me is like not easy. But I'm happy with my body the way it is, and I know the older I get, like I will be able to gain more weight and things like that. But I do like I said, protein powders, natural, healthy, and I'm happy the way I am. So I'm not trying to get bigger, but I wouldn't mind an extra 10 pounds. So I'm fine with getting like about 10 more pounds on my body just to get that more muscle. But yeah, I don't know. I don't keep track and body build like that. I don't know my max. Maybe I'll figure that out soon, actually.
And speaking of your squat, I don't mean this to be rude, but your ass, we found out, is officially too hot for YouTube. With the original picture that I used to promote this video, it was very tasteful. But that not only did they just not, like usually they would just take the picture down, but they removed the whole video because of that picture that showed your glutes. It was pretty unusual.
Yeah, the butt might not have been too kid friendly of my race flag bikini shoot, which, by the way, if anyone's tuning in, I have autographed 8x10s, 11x17 posters, grease rags. If you want to get geared up with me, just shoot me a DM in my Twitter or my Instagram. If it takes me a while to get back, don't worry, I will. But yeah, if you want autographed posters, pictures, my recent shoot with the race flag bikini with my car, I have wrestling gear promo pics, beach swimwear. I also sell gear, sample pieces of wrestling gear. So if you're interested in getting geared up with me, just shoot me a DM, AmberNova73 on Instagram as well as Twitter. And I wanted to ask, should I get on my Instagram now and try to let some fans know that I'm here?
Yeah, sure. Because I actually don't really. There's several people that run my Instagram, and I didn't actually share it on Instagram. So sure.
Some people, they have other people that run the profiles sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Put the link up. The fans won't mind.
Do I just copy this?
Go on the Hannibal TV YouTube page and copy that link and share it on your Instagram.
Okay, I will do that. I'm gonna screenshot this. Oh, and I wanted to answer. I wanted to answer Double S. So you live in Florida. Where can you catch my promotions, matches? I'm actually wrestling tonight. It's a 1-hour special show at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I'm going to be defending my tag team titles with Florida, Deion James, and I am the cruiserweight champ. So we got all the belts, Amber all belts. If you want to come out tonight, it's in Winter Park, Florida at 7 o'clock at the Team Vision Dojo. We're running a last few, I believe, in wrestling promotions before a new company is going to step in, and we're going to have some new people coming in and helping out. It's going to be pretty great. So we have good news about that. We also have another show this Saturday, and that'll be also at 7, and that's a 2-hour show. So Winter Park, Florida, go to my Instagram. I promote it on there, or go to Team Vision Dojo Instagram as well. I wanted to ask him where he lived in Florida. Double S, where do you live?
When he responds back, I will let you know. There was one question I wanted to ask you. If you could wrestle in any era, what era would it be in?
Ooh. Well, women's wrestling is really.
By the way, my dog wanted to say hi to you. She just jumped in here.
Oh, how adorable.
Yes, she's very happy. Her name's Piper, after Roddy Piper.
Piper, that's who I exactly thought of when you said it.
I'd like to see you against Teal Piper, by the way, not to digress from my question, but she's pretty good. But I'll let you answer the question about what era you would have liked to wrestle in the most.
What era I would have liked to wrestle in the most? Well, I'm happy where I am in life. Like I said, I was an EMT first, and I wouldn't want to take back that experience for anything. Being an EMT was incredible. I can't even imagine. I mean, I know like the hospitals and the guys I used to work with, I've been staying in touch with them, and how hard it is for them with this pandemic going on to work. If you thought you didn't work, if you thought you didn't sleep before 24-hour shifts, getting calls all night, like the pandemic, it's just crazy. My brother-in-law is a fireman and an EMT, so I know it's hard, but I wouldn't want to give up the experience I have now. But the Divas era, I mean, even though they weren't given such good opportunity or training and things like that, Gail Kim, for instance, a lot of those women, Victoria, they rocked it. With what they had and little opportunity they may have had then, they rocked it. And you look back on it, and you're like, damn, these girls still killed it. And now, the women's evolution, women's wrestling has evolved. It's so much more opportunity out there. I'm happy to be in the time that I am now, but I will say it's a lot harder. There's so many women. The competition is crazy compared to, I don't know, let's just say 5 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, when it was just starting and there was more and more women just starting out. Or so, like, for instance, Shine, Shimmer, Rise, all those women's companies. So like, had I started maybe instead of 5 years ago, if I started maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, just had a few of those extra years when there was a little bit more opportunity coming up and less women, I would have maybe been able to wrestle for the beginning of Shine when that started and had more opportunity with them. So I'm happy and I'm thankful in the era that I'm getting to wrestle in. But like I said, like the Divas era, I don't know, any era, even like 10 years ago, I would enjoy doing that as well.
And the next question is an unusual one. This guy is a fan of Jerry Flynn because he's mentioned Jerry Flynn a few times. Have you taken any inspiration from wrestlers like Jerry Flynn, if you remember him from WCW?
No, continue. What? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was done. You can answer that question. Jerry Flynn, for anyone that doesn't know, was a WCW wrestler. He usually appeared on WCW Saturday Night and Thunder with a martial arts gimmick.
Gotcha. I guess taken a lot of my style from guys, but also some females. Like I said, I liked WCW growing up, Goldberg, Sting. Obviously, I don't really have any of their looks or style. I don't do a giant spear or anything like that, or a jackhammer. But I got that intensity and that like feeling of being alive and that drive, I think, from watching them. And I don't think so much with Jerry, but I've watched so much. I do watch a lot of wrestling, and starting into the business, I watched a lot of old school matches or guys in Japan that I had never even heard of. I would watch a lot of these Japanese wrestlers and be like, whoa, that was amazing how he did that Hurricanrana. And then I would try it, or I'd do it a different way that suited me better. And I pick little different styles from people that I like. Like I've been trained by Low Key, Eva Lise, so many others where I'm like, I like that stylist. And then I incorporate it into what Amber Nova does. And yeah, I'm always wanting to watch like old school matches and see what they did then, because what's old then is the new now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of Eva Lise, I highly suggest people check out my recent interview with her on this channel. She recently won the AEW's women's tournament, so congratulations to her. Sean Wood had a question for you. Who makes your gear?
And then what do you say? The wife has the.
I don't know what he's talking about there, because I've never seen you with a pentagram.
Yeah, I don't have a pentagram tank top.
No, but there is a lot of questions on here about your gear. Sean is not the only one that asked.
I hand make the tire marks. I spray paint the tire marks on my wrestling gear myself. Like I said, if you guys don't know my background, I'm the daughter of a mechanic. I drive a 73 Chevy Nova. I change my own oil. I'm very much into American muscle, classic cars. So my wrestling gear is incorporated all into that. The orange for Chevy motor, orange color. So I always have the orange in there, tire marks, wrenches. I'm ready to gear up. I'm ready to give a tune up. It's my thing. It's my gimmick in real life. It's who I am as a person. So I don't hand sew the gear. I'll do the detailing myself. Connie Schmock, if you go on Facebook, she makes, I think she only has a Facebook, and she's here in Central Florida, and she makes a lot of the girls' gear in WWE. You know, like Liv Morgan, she's done Rhea Ripley, she does Aaliyah's. She's amazing. And she makes my wrestling gear as well. And then I do the detailing. So I've been going to her for some time, and she's incredible. It's Costumes by Connie. If you want to look that up, Costumes by Connie. If you go to the Team Vision Dojo page, they also promote her stuff, and you can get in contact with her if you guys need wrestling gear, fabric, things like that.
Now, Rick Brooks is asking if there's any valets from the past that really inspired you to get into the wrestling business. My favorite valet, by the way, is Woman, Kevin Sullivan's old.
Oh, of course. I was going to say, like, that's the most, like, I don't know, I feel like memorable one that you would think of. I want to say, like, Jericho mentioned that not too long ago, that there's not enough, there's some, nowadays, like, every valet woman, like, she wrestles, though, and she, or knows how to and has trained, unlike them where that's what she did was woman, just the valet. She didn't wrestle too or incorporate, like, she didn't jump out of nowhere with a head scissors on a guy or jump off her Karana. But yeah, valet, I gotta say, not that much. It was mainly the wrestling, the high flying, the 619, the Rey Mysterio, the Eddie Guerrero. I actually just got to do a seminar with Hector Guerrero, who I've done seminars before with him and gone out to dinner and gotten to really pick his brain and talk with him. He's such a positive and wise man. If you ever talk with him, he's like just so happy, full of life, full of good memories. When the wrestling business was really good, not that it's not anymore, but it's a different time now than it was then. And anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna have to say it's more so, you know, the Eddie Guerrero, the wrestling like that I would watch and just be like, wow, this is badass. And then I went to events when I was a little girl and I saw Batista and you know, and I loved it.
Now, Bobby Lincoln is asking, who is your favorite opponent? And just one note, you mentioned Rey Mysterio. Since we report news on this channel, apparently his injury on Raw yesterday was legitimate. He hurt his tricep. However, he's not going to require surgery, for any of the fans wondering about that. But who was your favorite opponent?
Who was my favorite opponent? Who has been my favorite opponent? I've wrestled so many talented women and few guys out there too. I don't know, like, you know, there's so many women that, like, my first match was with Allie on Impact, and now she's on AEW. I've gotten to learn from so many women in the business, being in the ring with them. And I was pretty new then. And Impact, they wrote a nice little article on their website about me and said, hey, the reason we keep bringing this girl back is because she can hang in the ring with these other top girls. And that made me feel good, because I knew it was just working my way to get that more experience till, it's my time to shine. And my favorite opponent, I don't know if I have pick favorites. There's a lot of people I've been like, that was a killer match. I had a really good time. Even though Taya Valkyrie totally killed me, I loved working with her. She is the most incredible, talented woman, and if you don't know Taya's story, you should look it up. She's a brave woman. And I feel like I was brave leaving my career job and moving to a city completely alone, no friends and family, but I only moved like 2 states away. She moved a whole country, Canada to Mexico, had to learn a new language. She went through it. And that was, years ago, where it wasn't that easy for women. It was harder than it is now, much harder for her. Her story is incredible. She is a brave woman, and I'd love to get back in the ring with her. I might get my ass kicked a little, but I know that my talent and my skill as a competitor has improved, and I could give her a tune-up as well. But I want to say her, Rosemary. I think I mentioned Allie. I've wrestled Sue Young. Man, I've gotten to wrestle some really. Nikki Cross, that was good. That was my first match with WWE on the NXT brand. Nikki Cross, that crazy bat, that was a good match. I had a great time. And then 2 of the top women from Japan, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. I got to step in the ring with them, with my tag partner, Tanea Brooks, Rebel, who's now on AEW as well. Britt Baker was one that I wanted to wrestle before she got picked up. Maybe we will on TV then. We'll just see. Yeah, I've gotten to learn from some pretty badass women. It's been cool.
And for anyone that wants to see Britt Baker or Taya wrestle, I have a deal now with PCW Ultra. I'm airing some of their matches on this channel, and people can look it up. Britt Baker versus Tessa Blanchard, or Taya versus Tessa Blanchard. They are on this channel. Now, Klein has a good question here. We know back in the old days, the Florida territory was known as a partying territory. I'm positive it's probably changed now, but he says, do the Florida female wrestlers party a lot after shows? What would you do after a show? Which female wrestler party the hardest?
I don't know. I've heard stories. I'll tell you what I do after a show. I like to meet my fans. If they stick around, I'll do my meet and greet, and I like to say hello to everyone if I'm not totally banged up. After the show, I like to take a nice, hot, clean shower. I like to ice my body. I like to hydrate. Maybe I'll drink a beer or a glass of whiskey. But yeah, I like to just recover and take care of my body and get prepared for the next, match I'm going to have, the next training, anything. I just like to stay on top of my game. I'm work mode. I'm driven. I'm not your partier. Like when I was a teenager, sure, that was like, woo, party. But yeah, no, I don't think food. I didn't mention the food. After a match, you want to get yourself a grilled chicken sandwich and some sweet potato fries and broccoli. Maybe, like I said, a beer, a glass of whiskey. You want to hydrate, you want to ice your body, and you want to shower. That is my idea of a good party after a match.
Now, this guy's just asking this because I had Rick Bassman on my podcast recently. I don't know if you know who he was. He's the guy that discovered John Cena, Sting, The Miz, countless others that got them into wrestling. He works with the NWA now. And Chug Alert is asking if you'd ever consider making him your agent, if you've ever heard.
Absolutely, I would consider making him my agent. I'm not like I said, the valet type of thing. I'm a competitor. I want to be in the ring. But yeah, I would absolutely talk to him, pick his brain, see if he has any ideas for me. Him being my agent, like I have a lot of ambitions outside of the wrestling. You know, being, like I said, the daughter of a mechanic, I know how to change my own oil. I know about classic American muscle cars, even modern day cars I can help people fix. You know, my wrestling ring truck broke down a couple of years ago when WrestleMania was here in Orlando, and we were running around doing some shows. And I fixed my very first like big diesel truck. That was awesome. And there was like a bunch of other guys who were like, I don't know what to do. And I went down the road to Advanced Auto Parts, the best place to go. I got what I needed and I fixed it. So my ambitions outside of wrestling, I want to show the world that you can be a beautiful, sexy model. It does not matter what you look like. You can be beautiful and still talented in other things. Like I said, I'm a former EMT. I even have a bartending certification. I'm a pro wrestler. I'm a American muscle car mechanic. You can be a Jill Jack of many traits. And that's what I also love about Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated is also doing their 2021 swimsuit search. I'd love to be a part of that. I did sign up, but it's really difficult. It takes a lot of time and effort, which I'm trying to do as well. You guys can check that out. But and like I said, the ambitions outside of wrestling, it's endless. And what I love about Sports Illustrated is they show women that are so talented, so brave, and it doesn't matter what your body shape is, your size. That's what I love like about Jordan Grace. She's a big girl and she's beautiful and she's brave and she's confident in her own skin and she's athletic. And I want to show the world that like women can do anything, doesn't matter what you look like. And for me, one of my biggest ambitions would be obviously Sports Illustrated with my 73 Chevy Nova and above all, Advanced Auto Parts. I want to be an Advanced Auto Parts commercial. I want to show that it's not just always a guy in the commercial, it's a girl with her 73 Nova that she goes into Advanced Auto Parts and buys her own oil and changes it herself. And the race car flags, like I just did like my bikini race car flag photo shoot, which is kind of like I got the idea from Advanced Auto Parts. Like I was like, oh, you know, if I did a commercial, I'd want it to look like this or a photo. So you guys can actually buy those 8x10s or 11x17 posters, digital exclusive behind the scenes from my photo shoot. You can just shoot me a message on my social media, Amber Nova 73. But yeah, my ambitions outside of wrestling, there's endless, and I just want to keep going and keep that drive. And like it's a big deal for me because like walking in to Advanced Auto Parts, you walk in, you smell that grease, the oil, and it reminds me of home. It reminds me of my dad, and it's just like a childhood smell, you know. So if I would definitely say yes, if he can help me out in aging and any of those things besides wrestling, got you.
Well, yeah, he not only did he represent wrestlers as an agent for wrestlers, but he was based in LA. Now he's based in Hawaii, and he also has got wrestlers acting parts over the years. So good guy to work with. Particularly a lot of the wrestlers that have been like bodyguards in movies. That was all through Rick Bassman. So if you could go on vacation anywhere for 2 weeks, anywhere in the world, where would you choose and why?
Wow. Vacation? Like I'm not trying to wrestle or like go to Japan and jump
Well,
on
yeah,
shows.
well, it could be a vacation and maybe somewhere you'd like to wrestle and work towards wrestling, or it could just be probably the place you'd like to go for 2 weeks anywhere in the world.
I've South Africa was a bucket list, and that I got that one checked off last year. And I even got to wrestle in two major cities, Joburg and Cape Town. So that was cool. I guess I'd want to go back, which I was supposed to go back to South Africa this summer and wrestle, and Panama. Unfortunately, the pandemic had those things postponed, not canceled. I'll be back. Man, 2 weeks vacation. So we're not talking going to Japan and wrestling or jumping on a show, but just Amber's downtime. I love being in a bikini and on the beach, anywhere where there's clear crystal water, like the clearest, crystalist water to swim in. Any type of resort like that where I can just jump off like the little like hut houses that are in the ocean, and you can just jump from the house into the ocean, like one of those with the clearest of water. 2 weeks living in a bikini, I'm set. No makeup. That would be cool. Greece, Italy. I am Italian and Irish, so Ireland, Italy, anywhere where like I can learn more about my heritage. That would be also places I would go for 2 weeks.
Now, I know you're from a smaller town. Now you live in Orlando. It's not a huge city, but it's a busy city. Lots of tourists, lots of stuff going on. Let's say you got a WWE contract and you could live anywhere in the United States. Would you choose a big city or would you go back to the smaller town living?
Well, I don't want to say if, I want to say when I get my WWE contract. I want to stay as close as possible to my career dream job. I don't want to leave. So when I get my WWE contract, hopefully I'm working my ass off this year. I'm always training. I'm always doing any of these, even the local small shows, so that I'm ready for next year. I'm hoping for my WWE tryout. I've been working towards it and I want to show them what I can really do. So, yeah, I wouldn't move away. I would stay here.
Well, they definitely need more female wrestlers because I hear Charlotte Flair is going to be out about a year now. What is it? Sasha Banks is also, or no, not Sasha Banks. Seth Rollins' wife, isn't she taking time off too to have a kid or something like that? What's
Right.
her name again?
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yes.
The man. How can you forget the man's name? Come on.
I honestly don't watch it anymore. I'm not a fan. I have watched some of your matches though recently,
Well, thank
but I'm
you.
not a WWE fan.
I DVR everything. I can't sit and watch every night's program because I'm in the ring training. I'm trying to improve myself. But I do DVR and the NWA, the everything. Impact, AW, WWE. I watch old school stuff. I'm watching Japan, Stardom. I'm watching everything I can, a little bit of everything I can. So yeah, I appreciate that. Who said that?
Crypto Spasm tipped $50. Thank you very much, Crypto Spasm.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
He says you're beautiful, big fan. Can't wait to see you in WWE.
I really appreciate that. You're just putting a little bit of gas in my tank and keeping me going, and I appreciate that.
And Carla Grando says hello from Mexico. Have you wrestled in Mexico yet?
Hi, Carla. I have not wrestled in Mexico, but I did wrestle in Panama last December, and they wanted to bring me back early this year, like April, May. And unfortunately, with the pandemic, that got pushed back.
I see. The pandemic screwed over everything in wrestling, but at least things are moving again there in the United States. Of course, the big news of the week so far, even though we're early in the week, is I guess it's come out that Brock Lesnar is no longer under WWE contract. He hasn't been under contract since, I guess, WrestleMania 36. Now his merchandise deal has expired. What are your thoughts? Is he going to get a big money fight in UFC? Is AEW going to pick him up? Is he just going to hold out and wait for a better offer from WWE? What's your opinion on the situation?
I don't know what Brock is going to do next. I don't know, honestly. I didn't know that he was released. I guess that's news to me. Or not released. I'm sorry, no longer on the site or contract. But yeah I didn't know. And I don't know what's next for him. Yeah, I could definitely see him going back to the UFC or something like that.
Do you watch UFC? And if you do, who are some of your favorites?
I don't watch it as much as I watch wrestling. I do watch a lot of catch wrestling. I was just actually almost a part of a catch wrestling event this Saturday. I was going to open the show in an exhibition match with Lindsay Snow. Unfortunately, she had to cancel a week prior. I luckily did get a replacement for her that could do it. It was just a 5-minute time limit exhibition match, and we were going to catch wrestle and really grapple around. And then I was going to incorporate some pro wrestling into it. And we were just going to kick off the show, and it was going to be totally badass. But unfortunately, she also had a family emergency. She has a young daughter, and so she had to cancel. So I did help kick off the event and just say a few words, but I wasn't actually a part. Like, I didn't wrestle and have a match this past Saturday. I was supposed to. That got canceled last minute. But I do have a match tonight, like I said, defending the Florida Tag Team Champions with my partner, heavyweight champion Dion James, and we are the tag team of Thunder Nova. And you guys can check that out on my Instagram, AmberNova73. We'll be promoting that, and that's in Winter Park tonight at 7 p.m. out here in Central Florida. And yeah, so I watch a lot of the catch wrestling, the grappling, and it's all the same stuff: a triangle choke, a knee bar. It's all the same as that you'd watch in MMA. So, UFC, So it's like the same exact hold, but yeah, I'm really fond of watching a lot of catch videos and incorporating that into my pro wrestling style.
Now, I know you really want to go to WWE, so I don't know how openly you'll answer this, but what do you think of the whole Raw Underground gimmick that they're doing with the quasi-MMA matches?
It's not like, I guess I've watched it, and I have watched it. It's not like catch wrestling, grapple. It's really quick. Like the people that are getting in there, they're just getting knocked out or tapped out really quickly. So there's not a whole, it's not like a long, like back and forth grappling catch wrestling. But the girls that were just on there last night, they went in and they just tapped out their opponent, took them out real quick. I think it's interesting. The Raw Underground is definitely different. It's entertaining. They have Shane on there, that's awesome. So yeah, I think it's good what they're doing. I guess I'll just have to see it more because they only show it for a little bit at a time.
Now, Mr. Showbiz Guy is asking, which wrestler would you want your WWE debut match to be with? Whose style would complement yours the best?
I'm guessing you mean my debut match as assigned talent, because
Yes.
I've already debuted for WWE. I wrestled Nikki Cross 2 years ago. She was my debut NXT match. And then a year and a half ago, January 2019, I tag teamed with Tanea Brooks, known as Rebel, against Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. And you can actually go to the WWE Network, search Amber Nova, and both of those matches will show up. Nikki Cross, awesome. I gotta say, she was like the greatest opponent at the time that they had for me to be my debut match. Her style really complimented mine, I think. I only wish that I was more prepared with wrestling gear. Mine was kind of faded, and my tire marks, my airbrush, the spray paint was a little faded at the time I got the call. It was a little bit last minute that I had gotten it. So other than that, she was a really good opponent. As assigned talent, when I go back, hopefully, hey, yeah. Who would be a good person for me to showcase my talents? And there's so many killer women. I could see myself really kicking ass and pedal to the metal with Shotzi Blackheart. She is totally my style. Balls to the wall. She's crazy. I'm Nova Girl, Nova Drive, Need for Speed, Fast and Furious action. Let's get it. Let's tune these girls up. She'd be like a tag partner for sure. I guess as an opponent, I love Sasha Banks. I love her to death. Her style, our bodies are very similar, I think, and I love her style. She's one. I love Bianca Belair. She is a powerhouse. I mean, she could just one-handed just probably press me up in the air, toss me around. But I'd like to see what I could do to reverse that. So yeah, I love her. There's a lot of awesome chicks out there.
Now, Sean Wood is asking if you have any crazy stories from visiting Panama City or Florabama, which I'm going to guess are nearby?
Florabama. I don't know if I know what Florabama is. That's funny actually because everyone knows I'm Amber Nova, right? I'm your Nova girl, your all-American muscle driving pro wrestler. But my last name is actually Flora, which you'll see that, like, if you know, when I started my career, I was refereeing a couple matches under Amber Flora. But no, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
Panama City. So when I wrestled in Panama, that was the experience. That was amazing. I'm not into the whole hard partying or, I mean, the city was beautiful. It was crowded. The driving is scary in Panama. Their driving will scare you. But like wrestling, the show, the people, the crowd, I got my first ever, like, thank you, Amber chant. Like, the people were amazing. And I have to say, it was the show that I did, for GWE. You guys should look them up on, you can even YouTube GWE Amber Nova Panama. You'll find the match. That was the experience.
I see. I guess that Florabama is a bar on the Florida-Alabama line. So I don't know.
Oh, he's talking about Panama City in Florida, not the country.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
No, I never.
Oh, you've actually been to, I thought you were talking about the Panama and Florida. You've actually been to the country. Now I
No,
understand.
yeah, sorry, I was talking about the country. I've never actually been over there where like the fun partying goes in Florida. But I'll tell you what, I would love to, just jump on a boat, a big floaty raft with all the, all the boats that go out there and day drink and swim. I'd be down for that. That would be fun.
Now, is there anything about you that might surprise us to know? We know you're into cars. We know you love wrestling, yoga, working out, but is there anything that you're interested in or anything that you've done that we'd be shocked to hear?
Maybe. Probably. Yes. Let's see. What has the American Muscle Driving pro wrestler done that you guys don't know about? Well, I'm a former EMT. Let's see. My stuff, some background. When I first moved to Orlando 5 years ago, because of my experience driving an ambulance and big trucks, I got my first ever Disney job at Disney's Animal Kingdom at the Kilimanjaro Safari. And I drove the 32-foot long big trucks through the safari and gave the tour guide. And they were so impressed with me. Well, first of all, a lot of my coworkers were impressed and jealous because they were like, oh, how long have you been working at Disney? Apparently you have to work at Disney for like years, or it takes a long time to transition to that job that everybody wants. And I was like, it's my first job ever. I just moved here. But I had that experience, and they were very impressed with how I could drive that truck being such a small woman. And that's badass. I looked like Jane from Tarzan. I had the tan hat and the safari outfit, and it was so much fun. And I love animals. So the giraffes and the rhinos, and it was pretty cool. And I learned so much about them. So that's probably something people don't know that I did.
And to wind it down here, have you ever wrestled Tessa Blanchard? And what do you think of her? As I've said, for all you fans, I've recently posted about 7 Tessa Blanchard matches on this channel. If nothing else, she is a great wrestler, but she has her controversial side as well.
I have not wrestled Tessa Blanchard, but I was actually supposed to, and they were setting up the match for Cactus League Wrestling out in Arizona that I worked for earlier this year. It was like back in beginning of February. I wrestled for Cactus League Wrestling in Arizona, and we were going to set it up where I was going to wrestle Tessa in Texas for CLW. And the pandemic happened, and it was right like May, the beginning of May, April, we were going to be doing it, and it got canceled and never went through. I would love to have a match with her. She she would be a killer opponent for me. I know we'd put on a damn show. Yeah, I'd love to wrestle her. I always have, yeah.
Now, as far as where you think she's going to go, I know she's in Mexico right now, where she was recently married to Daga. So congratulations
Congratulations
to
to
her.
the newlyweds. I saw that. Congratulations to them. That is awesome. Good for them. I know a few girls that went out there for the wedding. That's really cool. So, yeah, I know. She got married.
Do you think she's going to go to AEW, or do you think WWE is going to make her an offer she can't refuse? She's going to stay in Mexico and wrestle in AAA. One thing's for sure, we know she's not going back to Impact. She left there after defeating all the men, so she can forever claim she's the undefeated Impact Men's Champion.
I think that when this pandemic is really over, the world is never going to go back to normal. It's not going to go back to our normal. This 2020 changed the world forever. I mean, there's going to be movies and books and documentaries coming out for years to come about this. But when the world does start back up again, trying to get back to what was normal, the wrestling fans, these promotions, AEW, WWE, they're going to want to see new faces. They're going to want to see new people. They're not going to want to see the same people or the kind of like extra people that are just getting beaten up on Raw Underground and things like that. They're going to want to see new faces, talent that's going to bring it. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see Tessa on AEW or WWE come early next year, whenever the world starts to really pick back up, because that's what these fans are going to need. New faces and explosion, and she'd bring that. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Especially with Charlotte Flair going to be out a year, according to her father, too. Her name value, I think, could really help WWE. And last question here. You've been generous with your time today. I'm curious
to know this tonight. Too. Yes, thank you. I do have a show to get to tonight, so I'm going to have to go, but we will do this again.
This is a quick question. What's your favorite rock band? And let us know your social media again.
Yes. So my favorite rock band. Okay, that's a tough one, but if you know me, you know that my entrance song is Machine Head by Bush, and I love the sound of Gavin Rossdale's voice. I love Bush, but I also love Shinedown. I love Neil Young. I love, Kansas. I love a lot of classic rock and roll, AC/DC, Def Leppard. I'm big on a lot of classic rock, but also alternative, like I said, Shinedown, Bush, Breaking Benjamin. I'm a big fan of like a lot of bands. So I'm a definite rock and roll girl all the way. And then, yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with me, YouTube Amber Nova, check out some of my matches. Like I said, one of my highest viewed ones, a few of them from Hurricane Pro Wrestling out in Texas, which I'll be there October 24th in Texas, Beaumont, Texas. You guys can check them out. Diva Insider, Amber Nova intergender match. That one has almost 1 million views. So check that out. And then follow me on social media. Instagram is Amber Nova 73. Twitter, Amber Nova 73.
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk with us. Maybe we'll see another cinematic match with you on here in the future. And definitely when the lockdown's over, we would like to see you up in Canada. But you want to wrap this up with a little promo, maybe about your match tonight for anyone in the Florida area that wants to make the drive down to see your match?
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight it's going to be at the Team Vision Dojo. It's a special 1 hour, I Believe in Wrestling show at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Your heavyweight champion, Dion James, your cruiserweight champion, Amber Nova, the team of Thunder Nova is going to defend our Florida Tag Team Championships against some weenies that called us out Saturday night. Brian Atomic and Adam whoever, Atomic Weenies. They're going to get a beat down tonight, and we're going to defend those titles and show them not to run their mouth or disrespect our fans. So you guys can even watch that. We usually stream it on Twitch. We live stream that. So if you follow Team Vision Dojo on Twitch, you can watch the 1 hour show or come out to Winter Park. The tickets, like I said, it's only an hour special show. So general admission is only $5. Come out. watch the show for an hour, $5 tickets, watch Amber Nova shift gears and shift it in the Nova Drive. And yeah, that's going to be tonight. So.